Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Oh, I just had like amazing sleep. I slept like such a champ
Can
and, and I just feel super refreshed, excited. Just letting in here.
you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And how are you?
Good morning.
Where are you?
I'm in my hotel room before the event starts.
Oh, when does it
Oh,
start?
It starts at 3 o'clock today, Central Time. So
Okay.
I'm drinking the gas station coffee, which is
Oh,
slightly better than the hotel coffee. But it's
what's the
good.
event that you're going to, Andrea?
I'm going to a masculine feminine retreat hosted by Mike Zeller, and there's a few other facilitators there as well with different backgrounds and things. So there's I don't know, about 16, 18 people that will be there. So it's for the weekend and no technology. So once I get there, the phone is getting turned off.
Good.
Yes. Yeah,
Exactly what we need is less technology and more presence.
exactly. Yeah.
hmm.
Good.
So I've gotten the buy-in of everyone else for me to not be available. And I've got one last person to tell, which Brenda can guess who that person would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So that's where
awesome.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Mike's an amazing soul, so I'm excited for you. We really had a beautiful conversation yesterday. He's such a great man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Ronald.
And he's thinking of coming to Edmonton maybe early April.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he's thinking.
Did you
Hi,
already
Ron.
ask all your questions then, Brenda, or do you need to send me some?
No, we were just on a call just to see, it was actually very good. It was about, you know, implementation. Because one of the things I was finding, like with, say, Daniel, him and Chris, they were investors in the Sunnyside property.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is his partner who he's the one that books all the flights for TV shows like American Idol.
Yep.
And he's always working. And
Right.
met him for brunch when they were here one day. And I hadn't seen him for a while. And Chris was actually on his laptop and his phone. And at
Oh,
one point, I asked him to be present
yeah.
because I thought, are you kidding me? Like, I haven't seen you for a long time. And anyway, so I ended up talking to them about Mike and Daniel, his partner, who's from Venezuela and he's younger, was super excited. So they both came back to Edmonton to see Mike. And Chris was so resistant. Mike couldn't get, he just
Yeah.
couldn't get to him because Chris has done some of those drugs before
Yeah.
and he knows how he can kind of control himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he just wouldn't let go. But
Wow.
Daniel
Mm-hmm.
just had an amazing, amazing experience. But now and Chris or no, Daniel is now they're in New York. They rented a place in New York. And it's kind of like Daniel's a little on his own trying to kind of integrate what he just went through. Same as
Yeah.
Nicole here, a friend of mine, Nicole, who plays tennis. I just met her the other day. And again, she had such an amazing experience. And then it's kind of like, well, what's next? So actually,
Yeah.
we just talked to Mike about possibly, doing some kind of integration with people
Yeah.
because he did say, yeah, he's been trying to think about how to, because he does the integration call and but then it's still
Up to
you want to
people to
continue,
follow
yeah,
through.
Yeah, yeah, it's up to the people to follow through, yeah. And it depends on their support.
Yes, yeah. So thinking about a support group for integration then, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good, Brenda, because, you know, the blessing that we had is we did it together and we already know each other well enough to continue to connect and push each other and challenge each other. Yeah.
Nicole didn't even tell her husband that she did it.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
that's
Yeah. So that says a
interesting.
lot, right?
That says a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, community is everything, and that's how we get to kind of be decide, commit, and resolve to keep going forward and move forward with ease and grace. One of the
Mhm.
things that I would suggest is I would go against the word drugs because it's really medicine.
Oh,
Drugs, I used to be a drug addict, and I know drugs escapes and takes us away uh, from the present moment. It really is something that, and it immediately when I hear that word, it takes me back to a place of disarray or dis-ease, whereas
mm.
medicine is a responsible role to discover who we actually are as the original medicine. So one of my suggestions definitely in terms of especially if somebody from the external world is hearing medicine or drugs, they're going to see something or they're going to embrace it in a different way.
Mhm.
Um, with regards to,
Yeah,
I think,
totally.
yeah, I'm just again a suggestion. I think the language there is just going to be really advantageous, especially for people that really have no clue what is happening. With
Yeah.
like a so. But and not but. Uh, I think that's the most important part is after going through these processes and discovering the wisdom of our heart, most people are struggling to integrate it in a healthy way with a solid support group and a
Not
solid
everybody.
system. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh, my internet keeps freezing. Yeah, it just froze. Yeah. I don't know what's up. Continue, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I think that that's the greatest gift is anyone that chooses to tap into their heart and be around a solid group of people that really want to live from there. It's important that we have each other because we know, again, from my experience, we know that there's an operation that is bigger than ourselves, and so we don't live in this mind. We live in the heart's mind or the heart's wisdom, and this is an encouraging experience for people to discover really their sense of grace and purpose. And I know, again, for myself, I needed a lot of studying and discovery and alone time in a very dangerous situations to break out of that. And so I imagine if people aren't putting themselves into that same type of intensity like me, uh, they might need the intensity of a group or a community uh, to encourage them to step up.
Yeah.
You kind of cut out there for me, but I get the gist of
I
it.
got it. Yeah. How's
Okay,
Ronald
good.
today? Besides driving.
Sorry?
How's Ronald today?
How are you?
Well, I just teach the younger generation and about stocks and valuation and ethics. And it was I had an appointment later this day, and that is postponed. So I had some time in between, and I listened to your podcast last week, and then I say, hey, it's almost time to do the live one. So let's go on. Just listen in.
Yes.
I loved the discussion last week with the with Monica and JJ and you guys, and to see that we all have the same end goal, that we want to go back to living like we used to, with multiple generations together, taking care of each other, and not live as solo families, but live as communities, like they do in Fiji.
Yeah,
that's what I loved when we got there, and they invited there with their rituals, and everybody has a role in that. We don't have that anymore because we're so being solistic and in the device. Isolated, yes, that's a better word.
I was listening to the board. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish, Ronald. Just
well, it was I was teaching ethics, so I was getting back to the giants. We stand up like Aristotle, Kant, Spinoza, Nietzsche, and I was really curious also to the students, and they were curious back. So it was beautiful. So it's so easy to close up and to shut down. The phone is always in the neighborhood, or a computer, and they really opened, and they asked hard questions. So that was very beautiful. So I'm happy.
Excellent. Now we Brenda and I had our real estate mastermind on Friday last week that Brenda and I have been a part of for almost 8 years now. And so Rami actually brought something to the table for Brenda's consideration. So I'm wondering, did you follow up with Rami?
He sent it to me, and I'm just kind of looking at the size of it. Yeah, so Rami actually has a property in Dovercourt, which is nice area. And right now it has a fourplex on it, and we could develop, and he could partner on it. We could develop something on there. I just don't know if it's quite big enough, and see, I want to say but all the time. So
show your butt.
I'm stuck with my legs up. I can't. I've got a heater on my legs.
Adrian got you.
So yeah, and I'm like, my focus right now is getting Kanda up to speed, and that's actually 80% of what I'm doing right now, because I want to get her where she's feeling comfortable. The other day, we had a really good chat, and I think sometimes because of her English, she feels like she's not good enough and not doing a great job, and she is doing a fabulous job. And I feel like I need to be sure that I'm putting my energy into her right now. That's kind of where I'm trying to focus, because I want to get it to a place where, yes, I don't have, like today we have an inspection in the afternoon. And I'm like, do I send her by herself or do I go with her? And I think because she hasn't actually gone to do an inspection, I'll have to go with her like today. And because I want her to get comfortable with actually doing that. She's handling a lot of the tradespeople. She's doing all the showing. And there's just so much paperwork. I think that's the overwhelming part of this job sometimes. It's not even the tenants. It's just the paperwork required. Doing a lease takes a long time to do for her, because she hasn't done it before. And we have done some Loom videos, so there's training. We did a training yesterday on a simple thing like a lease renewal. I mean, it's a fairly simple But if you've never done it before, yes. Oh, did I say but again?
No, you correct yourself. You said the word simple. For you, is it simple? For Kanda, it's the first time, and then everything is
Yes,
difficult
okay.
because you don't know it.
Yeah,
So
you don't
look
know.
look at it from the perspective. If you would have done this for the first time, would you feel like an experienced coach helping you do that? And probably the
Yeah.
answer is yes. So then the
Yeah.
answer is
Yeah,
yes. You
yeah,
need
yeah.
to go
Yeah.
and
Yes,
have the focus on her learning, not on you doing, on her learning. That's your
yeah,
focus.
yeah, that's a good point. Very good point,
So if
Ron.
the time is not optimal for you at the moment, Brenda, how many other people who are part of our community are also working in collaboration with you that could maybe step up to the plate and have that initial chat with Ramy? Because one of the things that I liked about what his piece of land is, yes, it is smaller.
Mhm.
And what was attractive about that is you had mentioned you wanted to do something on a beta level, a small scale.
Yeah.
And he was talking about maximum 16 units, which I know is not a lot. However, one of those units, like if it's a townhouse, 2-story townhouse with a basement suite, well, one of the end units, you could have a ramp for wheelchair access and, have your kind of community center in one of the units could be an
Right.
option.
Yeah.
So is there somebody else who could step up?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think what I'll do is I'm going to set up a meeting with Ramy myself,
Okay,
and I'll just go through it with him.
okay.
I'll look at, how does he see a collaboration? Because I think that, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to talk to him. I'm not sure who else could do that, to be honest. I'm thinking. No, I can do that. That's fine. I'll meet him and like on the weekend when Ken is not working.
Out of just for my knowledge, I know that Ross had his concept as well. Is that in collaboration with what yours is, or those two separate things?
Two separate things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say they're two separate things. I mean, he might have been good. He's gone now. He's gone to Colombia, so he's not even here. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, like, where he's at, to be honest, to actually work on something with him right now.
Okay.
And I don't think that's his vision. His vision is more to do something with his hand, or I guess you guys would probably know more, Eric and Ronald, where he was looking for manufacturing of the hemp product that he's interested in. So that's not really, I mean, maybe use hemp as part of the construction.
Okay.
But he's never shown any interest in this kind of thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be speculating here.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if there was anyone else from the group. That was just my curiosity.
I mean, Monica. I could actually, but Monica's in Poconos.
Okay.
But she would be a good one to actually, talk to just about, hey, what would you think of something like this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll meet up with Ramy on see if he's available on the weekend or even just to do a Zoom with him.
Yeah. Because it didn't sound like Ramy was in a panic to do anything.
No, he's not in a panic. I know he's got that land and he's been thinking for a while what to do with it.
Yeah.
How big is the land?
It's like a lot and a half, I'd say. I'd have to go back and look at the plans because it's yeah. It can fit 16 units. But whether you could have I don't know if you could have a courtyard there. I guess, yeah, you could have a courtyard depending on how you you know, and Ramey, because he's a builder, like he's in construction.
Yeah.
He's probably got some, you know, we could definitely brainstorm on what it could look like. Yeah, I might not be able to include everything in this first project, but it could be, you know, a good place to start.
Yeah.
And it could be a good place to start. And there's space for people to kind of like create experience too.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I
I think so.
Hmm.
I mean, like I say, you would do one of the units could be, you know, a gathering place, right? Instead of it all being living space, you know, you definitely want a space that it's either the courtyard or it's one of the units.
I
Yeah.
love it. If you need any support, I'm here for you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, Andrea.
Yeah.
And you know, I've got 3 projects just to put this in perspective. I have 3 projects. So I wouldn't start a project yet until these ones are resolved to some degree,
Yeah.
because they require a lot of funds.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we have the motel conversion, and I have 2 new builds that are just starting now, both
Yeah.
at the same time. And they require a lot of funds.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean I can't stop. I can't talk to Ramey about it because he already has the land. It's not like we have to go and buy land.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can only bring your wisdom. That doesn't bring much time.
No, exactly. But I think
So
in my thinking, it was like, it's got to be ease and flow first and foremost, because I do have 3 projects. I want to focus on those.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I want to be sure that I'm working towards this goal of having some kind of project in the works. That's all about sustainability and community and all that.
Yep.
But one of the things that I did, remember I was telling you about the university, I sent out the projects that you are already needing or maybe some support in addition so that we could have additional college students or university students being a supportive network of you know, experience that can be trained, can be learned from, and can serve in some capacity. So I sent that out, and I'm gonna schedule or a follow-up meeting, but I just wanted to give you that information. That's why when I was with you last time, I was really curious about some of the other tasks because we know how many things are happening all at once around you. So, you know, it's kind of nice to have students that are willing to do that, and then they are willing, like I said to you before, the school is willing to offer them credits as a result of helping. So because it's on-site in-person experience, and so I'm working on nailing that in with them, and I've offered that perspective. So I'll go over it today with you just to show you what I put together and what I sent over. However, it's something that I believe will be really advantageous in the near and very near future, in the near and long-term future.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity for sure. Right, because that doesn't come up that often where, you know, you get offered that kind of opportunity.
Yeah, we're really blessed. We're really blessed. And it's something I don't know, it was divine intervention to for somebody to just reach out and then make it happen, and my university, and then actually we have access, I think I mentioned this to you, like 600 university across North America. So that means that a lot of these students they want action oriented development, and the schools pay for the program, but they get credit from the school for the students to do it. So it's amazing because we get to work with the professors and we get to work with the students directly. So you know, they reached out and they're like, Eric, you're such an impact guy. Like, let's talk. So I sent them like 9 different projects that, you know, we want to develop and create.
Yeah, that's awesome. And did you get any feedback from it, or you just sent that?
I just sent it yesterday, last night. I finished it, and then the lady Shumanga, she's from Ontario. She's originally from India, however, lives in Ontario. And you know, when we were talking, she's like, she's all in. She really loves the support, and she believes too in just our energy exchange. It was so ease and flow, and she just really wants to help. Immediately, we found like different people at MacEwan University. She kind of helped me through the platform and was really like showing how many things like fall in alignment with just one of our projects, like which is the events, you know, that we want to create here in Edmonton. She was just like, already that's something so big for the school and the community, for conscious business owners. And then as a result, you know, on top of that, you know, really developing, like you said, bookkeeping and support. Like a lot of these students, you know, they need help, or they want to apply their experience,
Yeah.
whether that's in property, real estate, bookkeeping. So this will be advantage. I believe this will be perfect. This is going to be amazing.
That sounds good. Mhm.
Oh, that's fabulous. Ronald, are you working on anything real estate specific yourself? I'm curious.
No, a friend of mine has offered me to invest in some property in Portugal, and I was looking for real estate for a long time, and there was the last 10 years in the Netherlands, it's very difficult to get in the game because the project is gone before you know it. So I shifted three years ago to shares. So instead of being a business owner, I invest in other business owners.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I shifted my attention, and that's
Awesome.
That's where I am at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I believe in diversification. So there should be something in it. Maybe it's the development of where you're also talking about is a conscious hub.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the Netherlands, that is my real estate project.
Yeah.
So that we can meet up.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I'm curious, Ronald, if like something that, you know, Brenda and Andrea are talking about in Edmonton, if this is something that, you know, since it aligns with your values and principles, and duplicating that, you know, starting that off here in Edmonton and then duplicating that into your space, into the Netherlands, is that's what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Probably. It's something that's getting more and more attention. You were talking last week about the GYLS summit in Africa. Maybe it's something I don't know the scale yet. Is it my dream I had originally was to get 8 or 9 families together in one plot of land, so you can take care of each other when you grow old. That was my original intention, and now I hear Brenda's plans about healthy places, and I love the how do you call it, the sound healing. So I want that when I get old, I want that every day. So you can bring that together.
So if we
even my
sorry.
my wife loves to work on buildings to make them more beautiful or repair them. So she said, yeah, let's go live in a castle that needs to take care of, and then live there with multiple families. And then your daily job is to rebuild the castle. And why can't that be a conscious hub together? And you have a courtyard with trees, with old fruits that we forgot to eat, and all that kind of thing. So we relearn all that we forgot about food, about everything.
So wouldn't it be valuable, and again, I'm suggesting, you know, openly here, wouldn't it be valuable, as Brenda had really suggested, to focus on this beta version even more and bring a lot more energy towards it, so that then as a result, again, only if Brenda is interested, it's no pressure here. I'm just highlighting, you know, the curiosity, and then bringing even more energy or people towards it. So then this beta version is one that lifts off with ease and grace. And then as a result can be amplified and duplicated, you know, in other areas of the world. Because if we show what's possible, because a lot of people are talking about the same thing, however, very few, from my perspective, are doing
exactly. There's less doing.
Yeah.
A lot of talking. And I believe the universe is testing us with this. So maybe I trust Brenda to pull the trigger on this. If she thinks there's life in it, I would definitely support it with my energy. So let's find out what the universe has planned out for us.
I think that's the plan. You know, once there is a concept, once there is actually a site for it, then it's a matter of putting it out there, see who's, you know, see what kind of feedback we get.
Yeah.
You know,
let's look at it as a minimal viable product. Can you make it a minimal viable product with ease and grace, so Eric calls it? So it's you don't have full.
I think it's.
You understand?
It's like taking the development of an 8-plex just to the next level, right? It's sort of doubling it a little bit or tripling it. So it's not like I haven't done it, don't understand it well. And Andrea has done her own development, so she understands that it's, you know, I see it as long as you have places that you can bring income in, right? Because you're gonna, you know, what is this gonna cost? 4 million, maybe 4 million. I'd say up there it's like double the cost of a, you know, maybe 5 million. So then you have to look at, well, okay, how are you going to, you can fund it, you can get private money on it, you can go to the bank, you can get a builder's loan. And then you've got to be able to make sure that you've got the funds to pay for it. So when I, for example, did the 8-plex, you need about 300,000 basically to start. So then you're thinking, okay, now you're going to need 750,000. So then you're going to have people that are buying into this concept, because I'm not going to, on my own, come up with 750,000. I can come up with a portion of it, but I'm going to, you know, this is going to require joint ventures with other people.
Or you do a co-op structure, Brenda, where
co-op,
the people who are going to live there are actually all providing buy-in.
Yeah.
And then it's just, and then you have your own board of governance between everyone. And then it doesn't necessarily have to make money if you're doing the co-op structure, because My understanding of co-ops, just based on the little bit of reading I've done on them, is basically it's a way to reduce the expense of living. But everyone has shares in the co-op, so everyone's co-governing. So
Right.
if there's a unit that becomes available, then it's the value of the shares is what people are buying into.
Mhm.
So slightly different structure, but then you just have to keep in mind, if there's somebody there that's not living within the rules of the
Mhm.
community, how do you deal with that, right? So,
And I mean, the other option, yeah, that's one option. The other option is you sell shares, $100,000, for example, and you get a certain amount of shares. And that's another way of, structuring it. So, I mean, there's options.
yep.
I mean, with my eightplex, I just had one partner. We're
Mhm.
like 50-50 partners on, say, for example, at the eightplexes, but that's like a $2 million project. So now
Yeah.
we're up to, obviously more money, but more opportunity, more, and more meaning for me, obviously.
Mm.
This would be kind of a beautiful thing to, but I realize it's not going to happen tomorrow. We're in the talks right now. We're in the talks trying to figure out, hey, which way can we go? But I know it's totally possible. It's like when Raimi comes along, you realize the universe brings you kind of what you need at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exciting.
Siri sent me a message. She's looking for $5 million. I'm like, oh, okay. She needs a lot of money. And I don't know where the income it would come from. That would be more of charity, I'm assuming. She's trying to buy the land beside her horse sanctuary, and it's like $5 million.
Yeah.
So that's like, whoo. I'm going to take my funds and do something here. Would be my feeling. Number one, will not invest in the US right now. Absolutely not. So I want to keep my basically what I'm going to invest in close to home right now.
I agree with that. I find that it's so important to use our home team advantage, because it's really what it is.
Yeah.
With love and grace, because it's easy, it's supportive. We have the community here, and if people want to join us, they can fly here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like we're doing some incredible things as a family, as a community, as a chosen family, and uh there's just nothing to prove. Like if they want to come, they can come,
Yeah.
Yay, and that's cool. From that place, things will start to just happen. And yeah, I really find that it's about planting the seed close to home. And like we're here already. Look at us. Like 3 out of the 4 of us are here. Ronald has come here multiple times. He's our brother. He will continue to come. He loves us. A lot of people will continue to come down. And we also have a thriving community, a thriving economy, a thriving opportunity to really anchor a lot of meaningful results here and impact locally. It's like we say, act locally, think globally. And that's our opportunity right now, is to really focus here, create something magical here, because people are seeking for something here. And like let's not be those colonial, like, again, this is I'm speaking for myself. I've traveled the world. I don't want to be like that colonialism, like, oh, I'm going to come here and save you, when we still have a lot of problems here locally. And we can focus on that, and as a result, people can start to learn from what we're doing.
Yep. No, it's well
Totally.
said. And I think, it's about resilience too, because I think when you can, have eventually a large enough piece of land after the beta proves itself, to have some greenhouses and stuff like that, especially in Canada, we need to be able to grow our own sustainable source of food, right? So to have, farmyard next to you and for people to learn where their food comes from and all those skill sets, I think, is a great way to go. And I also believe that when you have that full cycle of life going on, not just for your community, but your food and how we use the resources we have around us, you get more authentic buy-in from the people who are living there.
Yeah.
And more buy-in. And, so as a community, then I think a part of the research could be going to other places where they have run, a successful community. I was in Chile, oh gosh, probably about 8 or 10 years ago, when I met a lady there who'd been living in a sustainable community for quite a long time. Not a religious community, just a community, right? So I think that there's places where we could go, because it's, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to self-governance and treating each other with the love and the grace, but also with the respect for what the community stands for, right? And how we
Absolutely.
treat each other and all those kinds of things. So I think my hallucination is that you would get more buy-in from people who invested some money. And I believe, let's say, for example, you have a senior who doesn't have a lot of money. It doesn't have to be the same amount of money as somebody who's wealthy, because for them, $1,000 buy-in might be the same percentage as somebody else's $20,000 buy-in. But, based on their financial scenario, I'd be open to something like that, because it's representative of a percentage of their income or their net worth that allows them to feel the pride of ownership as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Because when people are just renting, they just think very temporarily. Whereas when people buy something with their hard-earned money, they tend to take care of it better. And there tends to be more buy-in. So I think that that's another thing that we could look at, is doing a buy-in for the community based on a percentage of net worth or income, or, a rate for seniors who might be on a pension, but they're just as happy to be part of the community and contributing in whatever way that could be. Because when we think about all the experience that these elders may have, right, whether it's hunting, fishing, or canning, or whatever some of those skill sets are that are lost on the youth, I just see a wonderful collaboration of education that these people can bring, and giving them a sense of purpose other than sitting in a house by themselves day after day.
Beautiful. I love that. Totally.
And maybe another part of the concept is that if you decide to leave the community, you get back the exact amount that you put in, almost like a damage deposit. And the reason why I would suggest that is because then it's not tied to the value, the monetary value of it, because we want people to buy in because of the community itself, not because of the perception that they might get wealthy from it.
Beautiful.
Exactly. You
Mm.
were
As
reading
long,
my mind.
yeah, as long as we're, the money is there to give back to them. Right.
Well, I think that's where sustainable governance comes in. And this is where, I like your idea, Brenda, of having some portion of the eventual community be like on Airbnb or be for people coming to the healing
Yeah.
center, because that creates the income. Because at the end of the day, either you have to charge people a homeowners association or some kind of maintenance fee for the community, but the community itself should have an operating business that helps take care of the membership
Yeah.
of that community. But people are then, encouraged to be part of the working community or volunteering or whatever that is. And maybe people who can or are stretched a little bit financially could come and volunteer some hours to the business in lieu of
Yeah.
The monthly HOA or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I think that's really brilliant. Like adding the operations and experience to building the business component of it, so that um, even the external world that are maybe people are not in the community, they want to get curious about paying to come into the community, so they come to the healing center or the space, or they learn about these different modalities, teachers that maybe from the community are adding their own value, and as a result they're providing or selling their services. So what we're doing is, as a community, we are marketing our services, our ability to amplify people's wisdom and creativity and potential. And people from the external community are coming in to pay that recurring, predictable monthly recurring revenue, so that it also then pays the people that are in service.
And then I think the other part we could think about is whether it would be appropriate at some level, maybe not for the entire community, but some part of the business be a nonprofit. So maybe the healing part of the center could be a nonprofit. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't earn money. It just means you're taxed differently for it, right? So there could be some benefits to part of the business operation being a nonprofit.
Mhm.
I'm not saying the entire thing, but yeah, what that also allows us to do is if that healing center was part of the nonprofit, it allows us to charge really different rates because we're not being taxed on the income on the same way. So to give you an example, I sit on the board of a nonprofit dance group called Country Pride Dance Club in Red Deer. And we have, for example, over $60,000 just sitting in the bank account, because it's been fiscally well managed. But our group, what we do is we offer teaching dance at really like half the price as anyone else. And it's to build the love of dance and make it affordable. So if you were to come to learn two-step lessons, of which we had 76 people come for the beginning of our two-step class, it works out to like, $10 a class, and you've got 4 or 5 weeks. So it's super affordable. We do community dances. We dance at old folks' homes for free. We'll also do private engagements, and people will pay us, I forget what the legal term is. They'll pay us a fee, and all that money goes into the club. But we're also able to do casinos and bingos that help offset that as well, which casinos are very lucrative for getting income into the club. So that's just been my experience with the club. The club's been in operation over 35 years and, very well managed, very, well thought of by the community, because we do make an impact on the community.
Cool. Very cool. I like it.
And I think that would be another way to maybe help bring people that are disadvantaged in and, offer a reduced rate to the people who may not have the money to pay for the treatment that they need.
Exactly.
When I was in Australia, we would do like singing circles, and there was this beautiful center where they had just all this amazing, and you could go there as a donation base, and it was just gorgeous the way that this space was set up. Like it was music and the way that it was like open, like a big hall in the center. And it was fascinating because I was like, I spoke with the owner, and he's like, yeah, this has been a dream. This came to me for, because I just channeled it and was able to bring community together. And now, it's creating itself type of thing. And one of the things that he had mentioned is exactly this is, some of the times, they have these events, these specific type of events that are donation based, just because we want to let the community know that everyone is welcome here. And then as a result, a lot of the times people then from those open events or donation based events, people become either volunteers or they add more value or they discover themselves. And then they maybe get a job inside of the community. And then they start to kind of like, it's kind of like that open way to get people even more curious and about themselves, because it becomes like, it's very like mantra singing. It was I forget the name right now. Anyways, the point is we were singing mantras all day, all night, and then people tap into themselves, right?
Yeah.
So it was beautiful way that he had really brought that. So that this is kind of what the parallels that I'm hearing as you're speaking.
Yeah, and as an example, the family dances that we are a part of in Red Deer, we do them 3 or 4 times a
Kirtan.
year.
Sorry, it was called kirtan. It was lots of kirtans. There we go. Yeah. My
Yes,
apologies.
we partner with one of the First Nations groups for that, with the local YMCA, and the city of Red Deer helps give money to the event as well. So there's 3 or 4 different organizations that all participate by either giving money or volunteer. And also as a nonprofit, you can apply for a lot of different grants. And when it comes to culture, heritage, even the performing arts for us in dance, we do sometimes get government money for $5,000 here or there. So I think that, maybe the Healing Center should be part of a nonprofit, just to allow, everyone to be welcome. So,
Yeah.
but it can still be like fiscally responsible is what my experience has been. And part of that is certainly due to the leadership of the group, and the fact that they've remained in operation as many years as they have. A lot of the board members have been board members 15, 20 or more years. And so there's definitely a dedication, and it becomes like a family. Like I've been volunteering as a board member now for probably 5 or 6 years, right? So yeah, because at the end of the day, people want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. Yeah.
So true. That's great, Andrea. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. It's just another way of serving even better.
Yeah. And I would say, I know we started at the beginning talking about medicine therapy. I think that's one of the insights or one of the things that kind of fell away from me is once I understood that I didn't need to be seen or heard or doing all these things in order to be seen and heard anymore. It's like money isn't, I don't want to say money isn't important anymore, but money isn't the focus of a measure of success. Now it's about, what can I contribute?
Totally.
is the first thought.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Now you're talking
great.
my language.
Yeah.
That's what both you and I got out of our experience. It's just
Yeah.
amazing
Hmm.
how we just made this huge shift.
Yeah.
And that was just in November.
I know.
It was a huge awakening, honestly. And when you're saying it, I'm like, yes. I mean, that's why I got attracted to this community
Yeah.
because they're not focused on money.
Yeah.
They're focused on serving.
Yes.
What can we, right? How can we serve? How can we make impact? How can we bring meaning into life? That for me is what's important.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I love what you just said.
And my vision is that when you think of abundance and money is not playing a role anymore, then this is all gone. It's all, you think of this, of the situation we're in right now. We need a non-profit to get us to that situation that we don't need profit. We need cash to stay alive, not
Yeah.
profit. And cash
Right.
can come from different places, and we need to acknowledge the value everybody brings. Somebody brings value in hours, somebody brings value in funding, somebody brings value in time or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
in the community, you don't weigh everybody's participation, because you have slow ones, you have fast ones, you have big ones, small ones. It doesn't matter. It matters that we take care of each other, and that the
Exactly.
sum of it all is more than one, so everybody gets some.
Yeah, great
And
recap.
another hallucination is that I already got a name for it. It's called a marae. You know what that is? Well, just Google it. It's
spell it?
Maori. So MHRHE.
MAH?
MARA Edward.
I didn't get that.
Mara
Say it
A.
again. Mara A.
Mango,
MARAE is a sacred communal space in
Rudolph.
Polynesian society.
Exactly. That's it.
It's borrowed from the Maori.
Oh, cool. I like that name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a community house where the community comes together.
Hmm.
I still want to do some research on the background of it. My wish is to do that there. So
Yes.
still need to go there.
I'm a citizen of New Zealand.
You should
Ronald.
talk to Evelyn, who is doing a lot of focus on everybody's wisdom inside of the group. She's starting the Lighthouse magazine for us all. And I would be interested in hearing what her thoughts are, because she lives in New Zealand and she spent a lot of time with the Maori, and she's very much into the indigenous wisdom. So before any words or things like this, I would be curious to, or at least for you to talk with her, because she's on the ground there and she spends a lot of time with the Maori, and she has spent a lot of time, and she's doing a lot for the whole community, adding value with behind the scenes in terms of the Lighthouse magazine, which I'm really excited for you guys to discover when she reaches out.
Awesome.
Great.
Oh, that was good.
Passed by quick.
It does.
Wow, it's already? Wow. Wow. That went like super quick. That was amazing. And you guys gave me tears. So just thank you for being so real. Thank you. It's I love when I feel tears in my eyes, because it makes me connect to Grace even more. So I love feeling the emotion. It's like super when it comes through me, it's just I love it. I love it. I love feeling grace. I love feeling tears in my eyes. It's the best thing because I feel like it's God speaking to me when I feel these emotions. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting me in that state.
Hey. All right.
Everyone.
Well, Andrea, good luck today. I know it's going to be
Thank you.
amazing.
I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
a call, Brenda, right after, because we
Okay,
need to
okay,
get that
sure.
stuff to the
Okay.
mortgage broker.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm working on it.
Yes. But yes, I'm
Alright.
gonna be offline, so I will miss tomorrow's meeting. I apologize in advance. So thank you.
No, enjoy the masculine, feminine presence. That sacred union is the most important. So keep it divine and sacred, and this is the most biggest responsibility is to find that within, and as a result, we duplicate it and amplify it everywhere we go. So this is the sacred gift. The fact that, if more people took the time to do this, this is exactly, the responsibility. So thank you for being you and doing it.
Thank you.
Hey,
Much love.
bye.
Bye bye.